morning, punters. Welcome to another big edition of All In, and we're back. Golden Rose weekend, Underwood Stakes down at Caulfield. Can't wait. It's going to be a ripping weekend, and they just keep rolling now. Lewis Willoughby joins us from Sky Racing and Sky Thoroughbred Central. G'day, Louis.
Yes, good evening, Gannon and Dino. It was another good week, another Group 1 down, and another win for Mr. Brightside. I'd love to know where you guys think he sits now in terms of, can you pull out the champion word? Fair dinkum. If you can't pull it out, then we're setting a really high bar. Back-to-back Doncaster's All-Star Miles. What is he, 3 from 3 this prep with another 2 Group 1s to the name. So it's funny, I think when we look back on the champions of the turf, he probably won't rate a mention, but fair dinkum, he can't really do much more than what he's doing to be an absolute star. So, yeah, another one for Mr. Brightside. And the Hayes boys. Will Hayes must think this training gig's the easiest thing all the time. Comes off the AFL, walks in and gets 2 Group 1s straight off the bat. Fair dinkum.
Yeah, well, it's a good debate to have, Louis. Is he a champion? Don't know about that, but a couple more Group 1 wins and probably cementing himself thereabouts. Dean Watling from deanwatling.com. How are you?
Evening, boys. Yes, it's an interesting debate. I think you could say maybe he's a 1,600-metre champion. He probably hasn't ticked the Group 1 box outside of that. I think if he wins the Cox Plate, etc., but you can't have a better preparation or a better year than that. I think it'll be a little bit funny for Will. Do you think he's got a little bit of that imposter syndrome where he sort of jumps on board, maybe doesn't feel... I think once he gets one that he maybe brings the whole way up, he'll sort of flourish a little bit more in the Group 1s. But it's a good issue to have for him. It was a great weekend. Chooks got beat. That was my highlight of my weekend, boys. So we look at the faces. Nothing.
There you go.
Mate, you're kidding yourself, are you? You're lucky to even get a start in the show, then you come in. Anyway, breaking news off the top. Just shot a text off to my old mate Body and said, who's riding Alligator Blood? He's flipped back saying potentially not running. So be careful, all those out there in the all-in markets. That's gut-wrenching stuff for a couple of battlers at some of the early odds this morning. But we are just battlers doing our best. We're going to go straight to Ride of the Week this week because Louis was into me last week and then text messages just kept flowing saying, listen to the king, listen to the king. So we're going to go with Louis to Ride of the Week.
Yeah, it's Craig Williams. And as I said to you boys off air, I don't even know what he rode apart from Mr. Brightside, but every horse he rode, it was Ride of the Week. And from now on, you don't have to ask me this question anymore because he is the answer for the remainder of this show in its entirety. And we all know why that is. But, yeah, good for Craig. Get booted off one, boot home another Group 1 winner and, say, I'm doing all right, boys. Don't worry.
Wow. What do you reckon about that? .com?
I like it. I think I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Aside from taking the mickey, he probably will ride a gem every week from now until the end of the spring. That's just guaranteed. The bad karma, the good karma comes out of racing. I think he got kicked off one in the first race and then landed on Our Last Cash and booted that home. So
it's too good. It's too
good on him.
It's a great game, this game. The story,
the best.
So the best.
I want to know who he's on in the Everest.
Yeah. Chips in.
Just wait for that one. Dino, what do you got for a horse to follow, mate? Or I'm sure you might have a few for us.
Yeah, I got 4 quickly. Altivo, big weight, no luck at all. Second up, I think that horse will be winning. Unique Ambitions, Gannon comes out of the T-Rose. I know you like that horse and want to follow. Hopefully they place it back in the maiden, don't go to Flight Stakes. And the last 2, once again, my friend, I don't think I got a Cosy slot. I think he'll win a highway. And the last one is King of Sparta. I know it was a high-pressure race there in the Bobby Lewis behind Star Patrol, but that horse is an absolute jet second up. I think it can go to the Gill guy. I think it can turn the tables on Star Patrol, Gunner.
Love that. Yeah, there's a horse that I was really keen to follow, and I'm just scrolling through to now Tropical Squall out to the VRC Oaks. It's to a longer distance, anything above 2,000 metres. I can't see anything beating her. Righto, let's kick off. Let's go to the Golden Rose. It's going to be absolute cracker, gents. Courtesy of Tab, Cylinder $3.50, Shinzo $4.50, King Colorado $6. May as well stop the fight there because nothing else will win. Charmstone $8, NCAP $11, Militarize $11, Moravia $15, Rafael Nadal $15. Dino, why don't you kick us off with a couple of thoughts on the Golden Rose?
Yeah, I got a little bit of background. Louis, you normally do the backgrounds. Have you got anything before I add something? You got something?
No, mate, you look like you got it all under control there, son. You go for it.
Mate,
Yeah, so
steering the ship beautifully here, and you've just absolutely carved me up.
That's all right. Just like to check. And Louis normally a stat man, but I've reeled it off, done the numbers. The last 8 out of 11 winners have come from the Run to the Rose. It's the obvious lineup for that. I think the Run to the Rose only been an exception for the last 11 years. I went back and sort of post that. It sort of drops away. Obviously, Jack and I coming out of the McNeil last year. That was sort of the wayside. The other race that horses has come from has been the Stan Fox, which the Autumn Sun and the Trapeze Artist at $61 come out of. So the dominant profiles are Run to the Rose. 4 of the last 11 have done the double. So won the Run to the Rose and then won the Golden Rose. I think the biggest one is the last 11 out of 11 winners have placed or run top 4, in their last start prior to running it here. I think 8 out of the last 11 have run top 3. So you got to be in form. Your last start's pretty key for this race. I've been a little bit bullish on using the form outside of probably the Run to the Rose this year. I thought that the ratings and times probably haven't really quite stacked up. I think probably Cylinder's the exception. He was okay last start. I thought he'd probably explode away, but maybe he's come back that little bit dour and needs 1,400 metres now. He's got the on-pace pattern, which suits a dry, firm Rosehill rail true. But I'm going to look elsewhere. I'm going to round this up, and I'm going to lean the way of King Colorado. I love these running the first up in the Wing Stakes. Gannon was all over it. I think he brings different form lines, just needs to draw a gate to go over trial super. Louis, and I think King Colorado can bring that different form and knock off these probably below average 1,200-metre colts.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because you just touch on how crucial normally the Run to the Rose is for this race, but then we go, I don't want to be with that form this year. They were bunched across the line. Nothing really came out of the pack and blew us away. If something still won from that race, you couldn't be too shocked. I mean, all it needs is, at least what we're thinking, for King Colorado to have an off day and then maybe something does win from that form line. If you had to pick one from there, I don't know. I'm not sold on Cylinder. Shinzo's the interesting one. It's only had 2 trials straight into a high-pressure Group 1 1,400 metres. That's a real interesting prep. And even King Colorado's an interesting prep to go to that Wink Stakes as a 3-year-old and kind of bypass all the lead-ups to this race. It is interesting. Charmstone comes up. It was good at the Valley, sat 3 wide, but on ratings, and you boys probably touch on that further, I don't think it's just to this level of some of these yet. If I had to give you one, is it going to start shorter than $11? Maybe not. It would be NCAP, who I thought was pretty dominant in that Ming Dynasty. 1,400 metres, yes. But again, this is an all-in betting show, and you want to be a little bit price sensitive here to try and find an overlay that you can trade off on Saturday, or if you're happy to keep the price, at least you've got some overs. Does NCAP start shorter than $11? Probably not. I don't know.
The key with NCAP, though, Louis, is we saw some versatility last start. But there's an ability, if it draws a gate, to at least sit in the first half of the field, which I think is going to be a pretty big advantage come Saturday.
Yep. So I'll stick with King Colorado for all the reasons Dean mentioned, and you're probably about to mention Gannon, and I'll throw in NCAP at a price.
Love it. Yeah, I'm a big King Colorado fan. I'm happy to follow him anywhere he goes. His preparation, here he is. He's had 3 trials, 1 run this prep. Arguably could have won the Wing Stakes. Wins the Wing Stakes, there's no way you're getting $6. So you're looking around $3 mark. But finished 2.39 and was probably held up for a good 1.5, 2 lengths of the journey, I'd suggest. So I think King Colorado is still a bet you can have at $6 because I don't think it's going to I don't think you can get any better than that.
No.
But no matter what you draw. But there is obviously some concerns, right? Hasn't really shown an enormous amount of tactical speed. There was, I think, the race down at Kembla Grange sat a bit more forward, but like different gravy here. So if you can draw barriers sort of 1 to 6, I think that's great. But not a huge amount of value. Just going through there, though, gents, a horse like Militarise is a horse I'm really looking to follow throughout the preparation. Nadal's another horse that's duly accepted. We might touch on that race later. Is there anything else? Libertad, can any of you see Libertad bouncing back? Or when I say bouncing back, or just improving? I was a horse that I couldn't be with at all.
No, I think the only one, I don't know if it's confirmed, obviously Trav Noonan had it in his article this week with Tom Kitten. I just love that up-and-coming form. It's produced NCAP and it's produced Griff on the weekend. That Ming Dynasty and up-and-coming form's superior, I think, to the Run to the Rose. So anything that comes out of that race, I think you could get a price. Obviously, it's not the general profile like Louis mentioned. I think if Tom Kitten's there, I don't think he's sort of that $9 difference compared to the stablemate cylinder, Gannon.
There he is. See, we've got a probe, and eventually we get something at odds. That's good. So in Colorado, clearly on top for everyone. Tom Kitten a bit of odds, and Louis doesn't mind end cap as well. We happy with that?
Yep, I think so.
Yes, sir.
Giddy up. Let's go to the Golden Pendant. Wow, if you can find an edge here, you're an absolute freak, because I can't at all. Espiona 250, Zugotcha $2.80. I can only assume the tab traders assumed that one of these horses may only go. A Tissue $4.50. She's a Belter $6. Banana Queen $15. More Secrets $15. So Dazzling $26, and longer the rest. Louis, why don't you kick us off with the Golden Pendant if you have any profiles or any thoughts?
Yeah, look, the fact that at the bottom of the page it says nominations extended, further runners may be added, just tells you with a 250 and 280 favourite, just stay out of this at the moment. Not one to give the tab boys a clip, but you're right off the top. If you are taking a bet in this race because you've identified something at overs, you know, call yourself the new Kingsley or something, you must be an absolute freak. There's nothing. There cannot be anything in this. Espiona was really good first up, and you know, can hold that second up. I can't see why not. Zugotcha, I have a little bit more patience for, but it is wearing a little thin, and that's probably not fair. Group 1 winner and was very good last prep, and maybe the placing of its runs this prep has been there. But, you know, I've got a very short patience in this game. A Tissue, I like a Tissue as a horse, but when you look at the two names above it, gee, it's not them, you know, and it's only at $4.50. So, it's going to be a good race. I hope they get a few more noms, a few more big guns in there. But yeah, at those prices,
It's tough, isn't it? Now, here I see Joe's back. Joe's back riding, so it'll be interesting to see which one Joe jumps on. Whether Nash gets the first right of refusal or if it goes to Joe. We're very, very keen to see jockey bookings here. Dino, what are your thoughts on the Golden Pendant?
I think Espiona is way too short, and so is a Tissue. I think it's going to be a tactical race looking at it on paper. I'm really keen to see Zugotcha up to 1,400 metres. I think she's about to explode third up. And the big one I think the market might forget in this race is She's a Belter. She's been transferred to Annabelle Neasham now. That stable can get him to 5 first up off bad trials, and this horse has been trialling exceptional. It's only 1.9 lengths off Sunshine in Paris and In Secret in the in the... What race am I talking about? Back in the spring. Give me
I
2
think
seconds.
it would have been.
Yeah, and then obviously it was only 0.2 lengths off Espiona in another race. So I think She's a Belter, new stable, Annabelle Neasham now, Coolmore. I think it could be the big one. And its biggest tick is it needs a dry track, has tactical speed. I think the markets might miss it, similar to what they did with Sunshine in Paris first up. So agree with Louis. It's not a race you want to be chiming in now, but I think it's a race I might be betting into come sort of Wednesday, Thursday when the markets are actually out.
Yeah, it's absolutely great up. I don't know what you do with it at all. So I'll just shoulders arms that race, and we'll just head straight to the Heritage, which looks like a really, really interesting race. There's been some good support early for Osmosis. Two's in $1.80. Royal Tribute. Also, I've got a lot of time for $4.50. Celestial Legend $6. Barber $8. King's Gambit $8, and longer the rest. Dino.
I'll take it away. Gannon, while I'm chatting about this, could you find me a price on tab for Royal Tribute in the Coolmore, please, while I go on with this race? I just want to mention that maybe at the end if you've got a chance.
Any sugars with your coffee? Or?
I knew you'd push back. It's probably race of the day. I think we're waiting for a 3-year-old Colt or Gelding put his hand up as a 1,200 metre proper type. I think we might see 2 or 3 here. Osmosis, elite 2 starts, trials have been superb, and I think the biggest tick for that horse, it's got tactical speed. So first up hasn't been the profile, be Bjorn Baker, but I think Newgate have bought into this horse. He'll be ready to go and ready to win this race. I think we saw a horse by the name of Home Affairs win this race before going on to win a Coolmore at the end of the spring. Also ran in an Everest. Royal Tribute, that win at Hawkesbury, Gunno, we reviewed this, and that was of a group class horse. And then you look at Celestial Legend, he probably needs further, but he's a great horse. So the top 2 in the market, Louis, they'll take out the race. There's no real juicing prices, but it's one of the races I'm really keen to watch come Saturday.
Yeah, Osmosis needs to be good here if they think they can get to an Everest, which is there's a lot of slots still up for grabs, so they've got to kind of put their hand up here. So that Bjorn Baker first up form, I think, can go out the window a little bit because there would have been more special preparation for this run, especially with slots getting snapped up. Sunshine in Paris, look, I don't know what the inner workings are, so this could be complete dribble, but I assume they hadn't been watching Sunshine in Paris for months and trialling and see how I think that just put its hand up because it flew first up and won, and that's how simple it is sometimes to get a slot. So Osmosis will have to be on its game, I think, to impress. Royal Tribute. I want to ask you boys, if so smart, why debut Hawkesbury? And I know it ran time and margin, but surely I don't know. Do you know what I mean, though? Like,
well, so on that day, they sent about 5 or 6 horses out there. So it suggests they wanted to get the maiden out of the way. But just going back, Lou, he was beaten 1.17 Osmosis on debut. And it goes far to say pretty comprehensively. But now the difference here is you've now got a horse that's clearly come back bigger, better, stronger, won 2 trials, won extremely well at Hawkesbury, did it pretty easily, versus a horse that, yes, has to be screwed down, but wouldn't be nowhere near top. It has to be
no.
In Osmosis. Do you think there should be $1.80 and so like we're talking 2.7 difference there? It's $1.80 and $4.40. Do you think it should be that much difference between the two?
No, definitely not. $1.80 is too short, but it's a funny line, right? It's got to be not screwed down for if they get a slot to be able to win, but enough screwed down to impress a slot holder to get a chance in the. It's a little bit,
it's delicate, isn't it?
I'd hate to be a horse race trainer because not only got to figure that out, you've also got to get up the crack of dawn each morning and work the other ones who aren't nearly as fast as Osmosis, by the way. The ones that are plugging around out of Bathurst and Corowa in race 1 tomorrow, they're the ones you got to get up for.
Oh, let's not start him off. Let's not start him off.
No bet for me here, I think. No bet. King's Gambit, it's unlikely to back up on a week, is it? Barber, I don't know. No, I'm staying out.
Yeah, I think we stay out, but I think Gannon makes a really good point. Second up, Waterhouse and Bolt, Royal Tribute, shouldn't be a gap between them. One's going to be leading, and like you mentioned, Gannon. So if they stay that same price as come Saturday, I think you have to back Royal Tribute, Gannon.
Yeah, my suggestion here is maybe have something small in Royal Tribute, and then I think you might get back to the $2.20 quote Osmosis at some stage, and I'd be very shocked if you managed to lose on the race that way because it's a 2-horse race. I do note that Nadal is also dual knobs.
Yeah, in both.
Now, are you obviously not sure where the horse is going to get to? I'm not even sure if they're doing, the spring that they do the Tuesday, like the fields for the big races are done on a Tuesday, but not all. We might get a bit of an edge there if that. I'm not sure when they're doing the acceptances for the Golden Rose, but if they happen to be done tomorrow afternoon, like they say, sometimes after these big races, then you'll get might get a bit of an edge in the Heritage Stakes. But there's enough dribble there. Let's go to the Underwood. Now, we talked about Alligator Blood off the top. Should be said doubtful now, so that's a bit depressing. But without a fight, $3.50. There's your value. Alligator Blood, $4.50. Attrition, $7. Lindemann, $7. Solcombe, $11. Tuvalu, $11. Duais, $15. Gold Trip, $15. Pinstripe, $15. Mwanga, please spare me, $16. Louis, kick us off for the Underwood.
Yeah, it's funny. This tells you how much of a good judge I am. I was doing the noms and looking at each horse, and I found one here. This is good. This is gonna be a price here. I can't wait for the show tonight. The horse's name was Without a Fight. Then I looked at the tab market. It's the $3.50 favourite. I give up. But it's fair enough. Was last start team winning at Q22, 3 jump outs, great first up record, 1,800 metre suits. I mean, it's just tick, 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 tick. But when I saw it was $3.50, and now that you mentioned Alligator Blood is perhaps gone, which makes this a pretty, I don't want to say weak Group 1, but it's certainly no superstar class, right? It maybe becomes the $3.50 value. Yeah. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go full dribbly because I've already screwed it up without a fight, and I'm going to tip you 4 horses, and I'm going to back them all to make a profit, which you can do at this price.
I like this.
Attrition.
Hang on a minute. So you've just declared one.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no.
Then you're going to play around it. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm playing around it. You know what? When Alligator Blood comes out, it's probably going to be too short. Right. Attrition. You'll laugh at the last 2. Attrition and Pinstriped at $7 and $15 respectively, backing. Then...
They come out of the same race from the Valley, Louis?
Huh?
They come out of the same race from the Valley?
Yeah, correct. Yep. They ran 1-2 there in the race that Globe was favourite. Then I'm going to back... What price is it? I've got to scroll so far down the page. Bank More at $61, and I'm going to back Smokin' Romans at whatever price it is at $26. So $7 $7, $15, $26, and $61. They're my 4 plays.
I love it. You crack me up, son. Dino, what do you got?
Oh, that's the best. I don't know about you boys, but I think one of my rules is keen to be against stays who run really well fresh, and then they have that second up run. They often can run fresh. I think Gold Trip and Solcombe both had really good fresh runs. I think they might regress here sort of 1,800 metres. We'll be able to fight. It's a good point. 3 trials. It's looked outstanding. Those jump outs. I'm not so sure if you've seen them, boys, but it's tip top up the mark. Has that residual fitness. Hard to beat, but there's no juice. I think Attrition's the one currently that there's juice in. I think it'll start. It's currently around $6. I think it'll start around $4. I think it was really good. Just got pocketed as Pinstripe made the run there at the Valley last start. I think it can improve sharply here, Gannon. So I'd lean away of Attrition. But obviously, without a flight, like Louis mentioned, it's hard to beat.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, Alligator Blood wins the race if they go there, but the suggestion is they're not going there. So without a fight, clearly on top here. I'm also very keen just to have a small 1x4 play on a horse by the name of Duke DeSessa at $51 and $13. I think they've missed that horse, and I'm hoping it's going here because it hasn't gone for anywhere else. If they go here, it'd be very, very competitive because this is a very weak race for a Group 1 standard, gents. Righto, give us your best all-in play of the week, Louis.
We're going to wherever they're racing in Sydney on Wednesday. It's a joint called Warwick Farm. Very, very good. A horse by the name of Salt Coats is the one I'm tipping.
Any chance we can get your all-in play first, mate?
Yep. My all-in play is going to be...
too good.
Can I just have all those 4 in the Underwood? Can I...
Yep.
Is there enough space on the...
Mate. Wrap it up so Luke can put the names across the top, mate.
Yeah, is it? We got enough space on that graphic to get those up. I can repeat them if you want. What are they? Attrition, Pinstripes, Bankmore, and Smoking Roman's the GOAT. Yeah, that's my only play. And I just, because I was already saying it, let me just get my midweek play out. Salt Coats in race 7 at Warwick Farm. Ran 5th first up, it was given none. Second up, Joe Moreira on, yes.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. What do you got for us, Dino? All in play, and then you may as well give us a midweek best bet as well.
Best all in play. It's easy to pot the run to the Rose form, but when it gets to crunch time, it's a little bit harder to follow you in. But I'm going to follow myself, trust the data, trust my eye. Best all in play in the Golden Rose, King Colorado to tower them up. And my midweek play, race 3 at Warwick Farm, a horse by the name of Driftnet. First starter for the Godolphin camp, Zach Lloyd, really good gate speed, inside gate. I think it should lead or find the leaders back gunner. So best all in play is King Colorado. Midweek race is race 3, Warwick Farm at Driftnet.
Love that, yeah. King Colorado, best all in play for me, and I'm going to get around the lads because I think Driftnet will win. I also think that Salt Coats will win as well, Louis. I love that. I think my bet is going to be a race 4, number 4, for victory with Joe Moreira aboard. You're getting around the $3.50 mark. I think that's a great bet. Should get the job done. Well, gents, done. Dust another week in the cards. Don't forget to send your invoices across. We'll make sure you get paid at some stage. Any final thoughts to leave us? Anything on the Everest you want to? Who would you give us? Why don't we finish off? We'll do this every week until the Everest. Your number 1 seed for the Everest right now, Dean Watling.
Ooh, Imperatrice.
That's awkward.
Ooh.
Luke, don't tell him.
Tell him what?
Not going there, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. No, you know what?
It's not in Everest yet, but it will be.
I'll stick with Giga Kick.
Yes.
So you're going with J-Mac?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't, Louis.
All you get now is a price.
All right. I'm going way left field. There's no chance you'll guess this one. Buenos Noches.
Oh, sorry. Buenos Noches. Okay.
Actually, you can't even win a benchmark 64 provincial at 900 at Newcastle. So he's gone. Right, lads. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to next week. Good punting.
Thanks,
good luck.